Hey everybody, my name's John and welcome to my channel. I'm on an overnight, so stay with me and we'll get started. This is the Grayl Geopress water filter. I like it better than the Sawyer filters. And I made a video on this, so check it out in the description box below and I'll link you to it. I need to fill up my canteen. That's got my canteen full. I'm gonna fill this up so I can take back to camp. It's time for lunch. Let's look in this earth sack and see what I'm having. Now inside the earth sack, I keep the food in one of these airtight, waterproof OP sacks. I usually package up all of my meals in just one of these little Ziploc bags. The reason I do that, it's easier for me to keep up with the trash. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I always keep an extra OP sack for my trash. So all of these I'll just put inside of this, and then that's how I sort of manage my trash. I have some cream cheese and chive crackers. I have two types of candy bars. I have one of these blueberries. This is a grain s'mores type. I brought 2 packages of this flavored tuna. Now I like the flavored tuna, and I'll usually put that tuna on these tortillas. And the last thing I have is this lemon flavored powder. It's sort of an energy drink. As soon as I got my lunch out, it started to rain, so I went and put my rain suit on, the top and the bottom. And as soon as I got the bottoms on good, it stopped raining. It's been raining on me quite a bit on this trip, but I don't care. I don't mind camping in the rain. Don't let it stop you. Just have you a good rain suit, top and bottom, and you'll be fine. Now, the only time I really don't like to get out and camp is during like an electrical storm, or if there's going to be high winds. That's about the only 2 things in my area that'll prevent me from going. These are the tarp stakes I use, the MSR groundhog and the mini groundhog. I use the groundhog, which is the longer one, to stake out my tarp and the bug net on my hammock. And the mini groundhog I use to stake out this little Z-Pax footprint for a tent that I put up under the hammock so I can step out on it. It's time for the drip line. I always tie one of these. What happens if you don't? Water will run down this webbing and it'll run right into the bottom of your hammock. If you got an underquilt underneath it, it'll soak it. When it hits this, it'll just drip off and that'll catch it, and it'll just drop down to the ground before it gets underneath your hammock. These buckles won't always catch it. I've had several questions about this ground pad that I put underneath my hammock, but it's a Z-Pax footprint for one of their tents. I'm not sure that they call it a footprint anymore. When I bought this one, they called it a footprint and it fit one of their one-man tents. It's just wide enough for one person, and the length of it is about right for one person. I can step out onto it, not get my feet wet or get a lot of leaf litter on it and keep the mud off my feet. And like today, it's going to be raining a lot. And what I'll do is I'll end up having to cook underneath my hammock with my alcohol stove. And so this thing is fantastic. You can just put out your gear on this thing and you're up underneath in the dry of your tarp. It's made out of that Cuban fiber that's real strong and it's super lightweight. And I don't know, it won't take a lot of abuse, but it'll take some abuse. It's got these tie outs on each corner, and it also has one in the middle. I'll stake this thing down with those mini groundhogs that I was showing you earlier. And I'll stake out the corners, and in the middle I'll just do the one in the back of the hammock. You don't want it in the front, you'll stumble over it. I'll also use it sometimes to get down on my knees when it's wet on the ground. I'll use it for a knee pad if I'm out here working on something. This is where I use the mini groundhog to stake this ground pad out. For the new viewers, this is my sleeping bag. Of course, I use it as a top quilt. It's a Z-Pax 40-degree down sleeping bag. This thing zips down the middle all the way, but I keep it unzipped because I'm in a hammock and I use it as a top cover. I do recommend this even though it's expensive. This thing is fantastic. It's super lightweight and it's held up real well for me. And I like it. Now what I always do is when I get it out of my stuff sack, of course, I shake it down good to fluff it down. I'm going to use a marline spike hitch for my tarp tie-outs. Most of the time I've been using a trucker's hitch, but I'm going to change this up because this marline spike hitch is a little bit faster. Just put your fingers down there on the string and go up with it with a bite, like that, and then go back up and grab that one and come back through it. And it makes a loop. And just put your stake in it. So it looks like that, but when you go undo it, all you got to do is just flip that down and it's undone. That's how easy it is. I have my camp set up. This is the front of the hammock. This is the War Bonnet Superfly tarp, and my hammock is the War Bonnet XLC Blackbird. Here's a good shot of the back of the tarp. You're looking at the foot of the hammock, and here's the head. I have some popcorn I want to pop. I've never done this before. I'm going to do it on my alcohol stove. And I'm just going to cook it up in this Pathfinder mug. I have some oil. I have something that looks like that. Just fills the bottom of it, is all. The Trangeo nest right down into the Firebox Nano. I love this little stove. I'm experimenting, folks. I don't know how this is going to work. I hear my grease getting a little hot. I see it bubbling in there a little bit. I took the heat regulator off of it. This seemed like it wasn't getting hot enough. Maybe it does take the high heat, I don't know. It's popping. Just don't want to burn it. Just think that's too much heat on there, but it's popping. I hear it. Doesn't look too bad. I see where some of them have burned. I'll learn. This is my first shot at it. I'm trying out these Mountain House meals. I've never used them before. And this is biscuits and gravy. And I'm gonna have this for breakfast this morning. I bought these at Walmart. Now, I had one last night. It was chicken and dumplings, and it was real good. All you have to do is boil water and pour it in this pouch and stir it up and let it sit for about 5 minutes and stir it again. And then let it sit for another 4 minutes and it's ready to eat. These meals are super lightweight. This one right here just weighs 4.4 ounces. Got the water right off the alcohol stove. It helps to have a long spoon, or this is a sport from my full Windsor splitter. You saw this on my previous video. But this long handle comes in handy with these Mountain House meals because you can dip right down to the bottom, not have to get your hand down in there. It has this zipper inside and you just seal it off good. And just let it sit for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back to it and we'll open it up and stir it again. And then we'll let it sit for 4 more minutes and then it's ready to eat. Okay, let's give it a taste test. Not bad, it's pretty good. It has some sausage in there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to me, hit that bell so you'll get notified on my next video, and check out these videos. Thank you for watching.